Hey, what's up? Just Trey. So Kanye West, Yeezy brand official, I just read this morning, is partnering with Gap, right? Yeezy's gonna make clothing, uh, basic clothing, the Gap type of stuff, and at accessible pricing for the Gap. And yeah, I'm anti-capitalist, all that kind of stuff. And Yeezy is the apex capitalist, and he sells high beat shoes for $250 retail that go for $5,000 resale. He sells T-shirts with holes in them and whatnot for $300. He even sells, gospel music, right? So he's always looking at ways to produce capital, and we know that. But you know, one thing that I always admired about Kanye was that um, he was always himself. He was always himself, and that to me is why I had a particular affinity for him. I mean, I remember legit the first time I heard uh, a Kanye West song. It was actually the song "Spaceship," and my boy Derek came home from college. And the summer we was riding around town in his green. I think it was a Ford Focus or Ford Taurus or whatever the hell Ford was making at that time. And we was bumping College Dropout, and Spaceship came on, and it's a dope song. It goes something like, "If my manager insults me again, I will be assaulting him. After I fuck the manager up, then I shorten the register up. Let's go back to the Gap. Look at my check, wasn't no scratch. So if I stole, never got caught. Yeah, I stole, never got caught. Mess that up. They take me to the back and pat me, asking me about some khakis. But let some black people come in and bet you they show off they token blackie." So he goes off on a rant talking about the Gap, right? He worked at the Gap, he worked retail, right? And he's complaining about the situation, right? We know he probably wasn't making a lot of money. He talks about having the stock boy duties, right? But when a black person comes in, that they send him up there because he's a good looking, well spoken black kid, and so they want to have the appearance that they actually give a damn about us. So they send him out there, and he can see that, right? He can sense that. Even if he can't articulate those thoughts as a kid, he senses that frustration, right? And so you see the comments on Instagram saying, "Oh, he used to work for the Gap, and now he partners with him." That's really cool, and I think that is a really cool thing, looking at it from that perspective. But to be perfectly honest, to me, the part of the verse that always resonated actually with me most was the second part of the song. And that goes something like, "Y'all don't know my struggle. Y'all can't max my hustle. You can't catch my hustle. You can't fathom my love, dude. Like yourself in a room doing 5 beats a day for 3 summers. That's a different world like 3 summers. I deserve to do these numbers. The kid that made that deserves that made back. So many records in my basement. I'm just waiting on my flip spaceship." Right? This dude working retail, being underappreciated, being undervalued, being exploited, right? Had a work ethic second to none, right? We look at our heroes, the Mamba, right? Mom's just got me Mamba mentality, but what do we celebrate him for? His work ethic, right? First one in, last one out, grinding. Just did a 30 for 30 on, the series on Jordan, right? We talk about him, his work ethic, right? We appreciate that. It's a very American thing. It's a very American tale. It's a very African American thing, right? Because we know the only way that we're gonna make it up out this thing, the only way we'll have success for ourselves or our family or communities is that we work our asses off, right? We got to be twice as good and work twice as hard, blah 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 blah, all that nonsense, right? And so this man had a work ethic second to none, but he not only had that, he had the belief in himself that despite what the world told him, despite what his current economic situation was, social status was, right, that he had a value that was greater than his position. And it's not about potential, right? Because you know, if you have potential, it means that you ain't lived up to it yet, right? It's like you can't be good with work or maturity or things like that, but he ain't there yet. No, this brother said, nah, nah, nah. I got stacks of work here that's dope. I ain't just practicing. I ain't just doing this for fun. This shit is dope. I deserve that Maybach for the shit I've already done. So everything that I'm coming to get is what I'm owed. And that's a different mentality. And that makes a whole lot of sense in the context of Kanye. And I'm not even going to get into all the politics stuff and all that kind of stuff because I can rip them apart better than y'all can. So I don't want to hear that shit today. My point being is, what's a spaceship? Right? Because that's how he ends it. I'm just waiting on my spaceship. What is that, right? So he tells us, I'm undervalued, but that's okay. I got this. I'm working my ass off. I'm grinding. I'm producing the dopest stuff that y'all ain't gonna appreciate, y'all ain't gonna recognize, but that don't matter. I'm just waiting on my spaceship. Where do spaceships go? What are spaceships for? You see, I think it requires a different kind of imagination, a radical imagination to achieve greatness. It requires not just knowing you're dope, but believing it. It requires for you to be able to see obstacles, see challenges, see letdowns, and smile at them because you know it's just a part of the process. What's it mean to be waiting on your spaceship? It means to be ready. It means to be ready. Because you don't get to partner with the Gap if you ain't ready. If you ain't produced some dope shit. Not some dope shit last week or 6 months ago or a year ago. Not some dope shit with Sunday Choir. Not some dope shit with Yeezys. Not some dope shit with Jesus Walks, with any of the shit he's done in the last 15 years that we can all lot in for, all appreciate, all that kind of stuff. It requires you to do some dope shit when you're broke, when you're working at the fucking Gap, when you're being underpaid, when you're being exploited, when you're being put down. It requires you to believe in yourself, in your craft, so much that you know the shit you're doing is dope. And you will get paid back for it some way. You just waiting on your spaceship. Put that work in today, y'all.